Hey guys, it's Grant from Local Scraper, and today I wanted to make a video discussing a common problem that I'm getting a bunch of emails about. I tried to cover it on the README page, but I think a video would probably explain things a lot better, and I seem to be writing the same thing over and over and over again. So um, the issue here that we're going to be talking about today is blank rows. That means after you run the program, you would have a sheet that kind of looks something like this. You might even see it in the bottom of the local scraper program down here or wherever it is, but you'll be like, hey, the name and the address and everything's gone. All I have is the listing URL and a couple things like merchant verified or something like that. Now, what this is that the scraper has requested the listing URL. It says, hey, Yellow Pages, please give me this web page, right? And what happens is that for some reason, which we'll go into, Yellow Pages doesn't give you that page. It gives you something else. It gives you an error page. It gives you a blocked page, maybe a CAPTCHA page where you have to solve one of those little squiggly letter things. It could have redirected you somewhere. Your computer might have been slow because of proxies or something going on, so your connection to the page just wasn't fast enough. And what it basically means is that the scraper has asked for this page, and it expects the page to look a certain way. It knows where the name is, where the address is, because of the HTML code on the page. And what happens with these blank lines is it goes, hey, give me that page, and when it gets something else, the program doesn't know what it is. So it says, hey, I know the name is between here and here, and that's not on the page. It goes, hey, I didn't find a name. And it says, I know the street address is between here and here. This page doesn't have a street address. So it skips these things. Now the reason you're seeing the merchant verified, or maybe some other little column that just says yes or no, is because these are really simple test ones. So they don't check between here and here, they just search the page. So in this case, it probably goes to the page and says, if you see this merchant verified logo, then say the page is merchant verified. So because we're not getting the page with the addresses and stuff on it, we're not getting a normal page, we're getting like a CAPTCHA page, or we're getting no page. It doesn't see that logo, so it says it's not verified. So it's not that the program is missing all of these other fields, the name, the address, the reviews, but is getting this. It's just that this other one is just a very simple, if it doesn't exist, then we assume no. So how do we fix these? Because they're pretty common. One thing you're going to want to do is we'll assume the first thing here. The first thing we can assume is maybe it's a blocked page. So you've been scraping Yellow Pages or whatever, Google, Yelp, you've been scraping and scraping and scraping, and then it was working fine an hour ago, and now you're getting blank pages. If that is the case, it's safe to say that you have been scraping too much and they've caught you. This necessarily isn't a bad thing. It just means that you maybe were not using proxies. Why weren't you using proxies? If you have one single IP address from your one computer and you've been scraping for hours, that means your one IP address has probably visited thousands of pages on their site. And anybody will be able to look at that and go, hey, this doesn't look like a guy that's looking for a restaurant. This looks an awful lot like a bot. And we don't really like bots, so we're just going to stop it. So they block you. Now either they temporarily block you, or they give you a CAPTCHA page where you have to solve one of those little I'm not a bot things. But the thing is that the program isn't actually built to solve every version of those pages. Not quite yet. We're getting to it on some pages that need it, some pages that don't. Another thing is that we don't actually see the page that they're giving, so we don't know what they've given you. So we'll think, okay, if it's a blocked page, The way around it will be to close the program, either stop scraping and come back and scrape tomorrow. Try that. You need a break. That's what that is. Or you need proxies. I have other videos that cover proxies. I highly recommend proxies for this reason. I know they seem expensive. I know people really don't want to do it. They think, oh, I already bought this program, I'm good, kind of thing. The proxies really help, and they really make a difference. You got to think of it in terms of like a business expense. If the proxies cost you $10 a month, that's like 2 cups of coffee. If that $10 a month gives you 25 proxies, which lets you scrape thousands of more results, if any of those results becomes a customer, it pays for the proxies. Like, you have to value the data that you're scraping a bit more so you can see the value in the proxies. Because the proxies will allow you to get around these blank pages, and they'll allow you to scrape longer and faster and use more threads, and there's all kinds of benefits to them. So I highly recommend proxies. So that's the first thing, is maybe you've just been scraping too much and you have you hit a blocked page. Okay. The second thing is that maybe you're already using proxies and you'll see this line has results, this line has results, that one has results. This one doesn't. This one will be blank. And then this one will have an address, and this one, and this one, and this one. And you're like, hey, why is that one line? That one line's blank. Well, it could be that that one proxy that was used at that one time hit one of those banned or block pages. It could also be a speed thing, which we'll get into now, is another cause of these blank rows, either single blank rows, like if only this one was blank, and this one, but all the rest were fine, or if all of them are blank like this, it could be a speed issue. And what that means is that once again, the program it's asked wherever you're scraping, hey, give me this website. The thing goes, hey, here's that website, but you're using slightly slower proxies. Or it's mid-afternoon, that's when your internet slows down and everything just slowed down. The program has a default wait time of 2 to 3 seconds that it waits to get that page. So just go, hey, give me the page. It goes, hey, here's the page. But it gives you the page 4 seconds later. You have missed that 2 to 3 second page window, which means the program didn't get anything. It just ran at that point. It says, hey, I've waited my 3 seconds. It doesn't have a way to confirm anything. It goes, hey, I waited 3 seconds. There's nothing there. I ran, and we moved on, kind of thing. So if you're getting blank pages, you could also change the wait time. I mean, you'll be able to tell this. Open up Google and go to something and see if, like, oh, it's kind of slow, you know, or I know my internet's always slow around 5 p.m. because everybody gets home and watches Netflix or something. You generally know when that's going on. So you use the wait time in the program, which is over here, wait time, that's why we have it, to slow the program down. Set it to 5 seconds. If you really, really want to wait a long time, set it to 10. You know, the program will eventually finish. I mean, 10 you might want to do overnight, kind of thing. But that'll give the pages plenty of time to come and load. Another benefit to the wait times is they make you look more human. The website knows if you're going through a page on their site every 2 to 3 seconds, like another page, another page, another page, another page every 2 to 3 seconds, it's again pretty easy to look at like a log or just have an automated system that goes, hey, this guy's been to too many web pages and he's gone at them at a pretty normal 2 to 3 seconds every time. You know, so what you want is something like the 6, 8 kind of thing. It'll make you look much better and might resolve these blank rows. Let's see, those are mainly the 2 causes. Another cause could be a software problem. So if at the point you've used proxies you're using proxies, you've tried a slower wait time, just none of these things resolve the error, you can email me at grant@localscraper.com, and I will look it over and I will see if anything's actually broken. Because it rarely happens, but it could be that just everything on the page is broken. They came out with a new site design, who knew? But usually in that case, certain things will be broken. Like we'll still get the name, we'll still get states and like rating, but this will be blank and that'll be blank and that'll be blank. And you'll be like, wait, why are all these blank? Like certainly if there's a state, there should be a street address, right? Well, that means they made a minor change to the website. Whereas if everything was blank, that's a much more major change. So to recap here, if you have blank rows like this, you either need to slow down or use proxies, or actually one other thing, which a guy emailed me about one time, was that he was scraping, but he was using 50 threads. Now it sounds cool and all, the threads. Man, we can go as fast as we want. The problem is that 50 threads is like opening 50 copies of Google Chrome on your desktop and all having them all go to a different web page at the same time, and then closing them all and reopening them all. And my laptop can't do it. My desktop can't really do it. I have it there as an option for people who are exceptional power users, but threads are really iffy sometimes. Like you really, really need the power to be able to do them. As an example is that every time I scrape, I only ever use 8 to 10 threads. Like I'm never in such a hurry that I think that setting it to like 50 or 20 or something like that is going to give me anything faster. So this one guy was actually using, he was using proxies, but he only had like 5 or so, and he was using 20 to 50 threads. Whoa, that means like each proxy is being used 4 times every 2 to 3 seconds. You're not really looking human at that point. You have proxies, but your threads are way too high. So what happened is that he was starting to get the blank pages again because they caught it. And because 20 threads was just way too much for his computer to handle, and things all slowed down and the proxies slowed down and everything just kind of got bunked. So what you want to do is also, if you're running into these blank pages, and in the idea of slowing things down, not just the wait time, cut back on the threads. Like I said, I use 8 to 10, and I use 200 proxies. At absolute most, you want to use 15 to 20, but you're going to have way more proxies than you have threads. Maybe 200 proxies and 20 threads, but then you also need a very powerful computer. So, just stay in 8 to 10. So, I guess that's the third thing. So, first, use proxies. Second, try the wait time. Actually, second, try the threads, because that's more common of a problem. Third, try the wait time. And if none of those work, you can email me, and we'll figure out what's going on. But yeah, I wanted to make a video to sort of explain this mystery of the blank rows, which hopefully I'll be able to resolve one day as I continue working on the program. It's just a bit hard to get around blocks and stuff like that. That's just sort of how scraping is, which is why the proxies are kind of important. Okay, guys. Yep, if you have any questions, remember you can email me at grant@localscraper, and hopefully this helped explain it. And I will start linking people to this rather than emailing them my sort of cut and paste response that I have been. Okay, everybody. Thank you very much.